Hey guys, Cliff here with Curry Custom Cutlery. For today's knife, I thought we'd take a look at how I do a Tanto. And this one's an older one. It's a little bit scratched up. So I thought we'd start with just doing a quick polish, and then we'll go on to do the two bevels. And we'll treat them like two separate bevels. First thing we're going to do is just get it polished up. Let's go ahead and I'll kick you back. This is the 200 grit Scotch-Brite wheel. Easy as that. That's a really nice way you can take something and without spending a lot of time, you can return it. Oh, looks like we got a little more right there. There we go. Give it back to the customer looking way better than when they brought it to you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to treat this. We're going to use the angle guide, and we're going to place the angle guide on the flat part, and that's going to make the bevel lower. And then we're going to cut it in all the way over to here, flip it and cut it. And then when we come up to the upper angle part, we're going to increase the angle, and that's going to make the bevels match. And let's go ahead and get that going. Down and back. Check the bevel. Looks good. Make sure it's on the flat. I don't expect it to actually apex yet. And there it is, actually apexing. Hopefully that'll show up on the camera, the white line across the top. I don't believe this probably had a very pronounced transition point, but we're going to try to give it more of one. I am seeing the bevel get a little wider right here, so we're going to go easy. And we're coming up into the thicker metal, so the bevel's going to get wider. It hasn't widened out on this side yet, so I'm going to just hit it one more time over here. Keep the bevels about the same width. That could be some variations in the thickness of the steel as well. Okay, so now we got a clean run. There's one little spot right back down here I'm just going to touch. That's so that it's into the sharpening choil. Okay, now we got a clean bevel that goes all the way up to here. And now we're going to come over to here. Instead of going on the flat, I'm actually going to put it up onto the bevel surface. And we're going to come up and hold it and check. You can see we have a lot of ways to go to rebuild this. I'm going to actually angle it so it is more down here and less up here. We'll do that by bringing it up a little bit. And that's going to be more of what we're looking for. And then I'll bring it over to the other side. Same thing, we want to make sure we're on that angle. And this is where you have to have some patience. So this bevel is starting to look pretty clean. We're coming into the tip. See, we still have a lot of work to do to bring the bevels down to where we get to a tip. But the bevels are matching up. And it's very subtle. You come in and you lean a little harder to the back end. And that'll widen out the bevel back here. And then this one, we want to lean a little bit more towards the front. I'm always trying to keep that same angle though on the facet angle. There, that's looking pretty good. Liking that a lot. And then we're just going to try and clean this up and match that. You won't always get them to match perfect. And here's another pro tip. When you get where you think it's going to be, quit fussing with it. Walk away. So we got clean bevels all the way up. Pointy transition. Clean to a point. And stop. Don't keep fiddling with it, because what'll happen is you'll bonk it, and then all that work you've done is gone. All right, let's do the next step. The first step was a P120 grit Cubitron. This step is going to be the Trizac A30. And this is where the benefit of the angle guides and having them very precisely calibrated makes a difference. So having the angle guides precisely calibrated really makes a difference, because now when I come in on the flat, it should exactly match from the previous. And that mostly what we're doing is just doing an edge refinement and trying to remove the scratch pattern from the first step. And I can see it getting cleaner. Now we're going to do the same thing we did before. It's just the same exact thing. And all we're hoping to do is make that beautiful bevel. There it is. We come in over here, touch it, the same thing. So we've reprofiled, we've apexed, then we refined our edge and cleaned up the scratch pattern. You could satin polish it, but then you'll lose some of the crispness to the edge bevel transitions. And we got just a pokey point, and we got our final edge is all the way up. So now we're just going to do the final strop and we'll be done. Woo. Nice. Final stropping step. Belt is moving away from us because the machine is upside down. Put a little 3 micron diamond emulsion on there. And there's going to be 2 different stropping angles as well. So the first one's going to be rather shallow. If I want the edge to be toothy, I'll just give it a light buff on both sides. Check the drag on my fingernail. It's got a nice bite. It's got a nice slice feel to it. If it's a functioning knife, that's what you want. And then it'll come up slightly on the angle, tipping up. But still just a very light little white pass. And that is start to finish how I do a Tanto restoration on belts with 1x30 machines. No heat damage, we're at slow speed. And if you wanted more of a polished edge, you could satin polish up on the wheel. You could come over and you could hit the leather wheel for a final mirror polish and that hair popping edge, but it won't have any drag or any bite to it at all. And for this knife, especially for cutting through rope or out in the woods, I think you want more of a toothy edge. That's all I got for you guys today. Appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And have a great day. Aloha. Hey.